Welcome back to 12 Talk with me, your host Josh. I'm flying solo again as Mitch is still preparing for the baby to come. But worry not, much like last week when I had the amazing Rob Staten, this week I have got the Mirror U.S. American sports journalist Charlie Wilson returning to the pod, and he brings such amazing insight every single time. We're going to be diving into his top 10 prospects for the upcoming draft. He's also going to go through his plans A, B, and C for the Seahawks native picks. And there are some curveballs thrown in there that I did not see coming. If you're new to the pod, thanks so much for joining us. By all means, like this video, hit subscribe if you haven't already, click the notification bell, then you can be notified every single time there is a new pod up and running. But I think we should get straight into talking to Charlie because it was one heck of a pod and I can't wait for you guys to hear it. There we are, back in it with Charlie Wilson. I've just realised, Charlie, you're still in that intro, and for some reason it's got a subtitle just saying a free version. It's like stereotyping the Northerner.
I think I was talking about a linebacker, and I think I called someone a free trial version of Bobby Wagner. I can't remember what linebacker it was, but I'm pretty sure that was the take.
How are you doing anyway, mate? You all right?
I'm really good, mate. Yeah, it's good to be back on the podcast. First time since the Seahawks have won the Super Bowl, so I mean, what a time it is to be a Seahawks fan. I think we all saw a good season coming, but no one saw that coming. It was just magical. It's my favorite season ever being a Seahawks fan. And the draft is around the corner, so it's a good time.
Just before we get onto the draft thing, like, because I'm in the same boat. This is personally my favorite season ever of being a Seahawks fan, the one just gone. And I want to get your take as to why it is, and then I'll sort of say what mine is. So why was it your favorite season?
So, I mean, the other season you have to compare it to is obviously the old Super Bowl winning season, and that was great. It was very us against the world. No one believes us. We're this young team, and it's like, we're going to show you. It was like, Seattle, obviously, famously, in the Pacific Northwest on the West Coast, a team that doesn't get a lot of coverage. And it was kind of like, we are here now and we are here to stay. So that was fun. But I think it was how it ended and when things unraveled and you saw the fights and the guys not liking each other. And even like while on the team talking down Russell Wilson and, just angry all the time. It didn't feel like a team. This feels like a team. It feels like, they all want to play for each other. There's a new head coach who's really brought in a culture and they've all bought into it quickly. The way they talk about each other I think it's just little things like that I just really, really enjoy. I mean, it's just like the wide. I love wide zone football. It's like that's my kind of offense. I loved the way we in Russell Wilson era. It was always kind of run. Russell Wilson, please throw up a bomb and see what happens. And now I have confidence in the offense. I think that's another reason. And obviously, also the defense is incredible.
I mean, as a sports coach as well, I mean, that you hit the nail on the head for me. It's very much this seems like a real team. The guys love each other. They want to play for each other. Like the offense as the defense is back. The defense as the offense is back. Special teams have everyone's back, and we've got this coach who, I don't know if you saw the video that went around the other day of like all the coaches having a drink. Mike McDonald wasn't there. And I think he's set himself sort of apart. Obviously, he had the interview where Sean McVay came in and he was talking about the 2-point conversion, put his hand on his shoulder and stuff. And he just doesn't seem to have any time for any of that. He's just all football. And I think that's what I love the most. He's taken these players who were cast aside by other teams. Your Ernest Jones, who was traded from, the Rams to the Titans, then to us. And then you've got your Drake Mays, who we plucked off the practice squad in Las Vegas. And he's made them this fantastic cohesive unit and playing a really good brand of football.
They play a style of football on both sides as well, and it's like what they want to do, and they can do it. And I just love that. I love okay, we are going to play how we're going to play, try and stop us. And it was just a joy to watch last season. And like you say with Matt McDonald, yeah, he's kind of like a bit of a sort of quiet genius kind of thing. It's not the most boisterous. Even in his press game, his videos they post in the locker room, it's always the same thing. It's like, well done, men, really good, men. He's not a real good motivational speaker as a coach, but man, does he know football. The things he drew up last season, I kind of copied his playbook over the last 2 years. I've coached defense over here. It's a lot harder to run with guys who, are just amateurs, but the things he puts on film are things that I've never seen before. And it's like, wow, you need the players to do that, but the things that he comes up with are just incredible. And it changes every week. He's a magnificent coach, and we're lucky to have him.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, that's talking about last season. I think we need to start talking about what's coming, what's just over the hill. And the first thing that's over the hill is the draft. And I said in the intro, you've been a fantastic member of our Discord. You've been on this pod multiple times now. We can't appreciate it more. You always give us these really good nuggets of players to watch that may be slightly off the radar. And, it ends up, they start creeping into my mock drafts more and more and more. And I'm looking forward to seeing who your personal top 10 is, because we had Rob Staten on last week and he didn't want to give us a top 10 per se, because he has this sort of eagle eye view of everyone where they could go. He has got some favorite players, but I want to know who yours are and why. So kick us off. You can start at 10, start at 1. I do not mind, my friend. I'm here to learn, because without Mitch, I'm a pure draft novice. Mitch is waiting for his baby to be born, and now I'm just sort of trying to absorb all the information from you guys.
Okay, I'll start off with my number 10 guy. Should we go that way?
Yep, let's do it.
Let's do it. So I've got 3 cornerbacks in my top 10. And the first in 10th position I have is probably a guy who you will see at the top of most cornerback rankings. Is my third. Is Mansour Delane from LSU. This guy is a man coverage demon. If you stick him on man and just say, you have that half the field, do what you can, he will do a very good job. I always think a good sign of a cornerback is when they make the tough things look very, very easy. And Delane does that exactly. Really good understanding of zone as well. There's a play against Florida where he's in cover 2. And he breaks on the slot, makes a really nice PBU. I mean, these kind of plays where he's sort of looking like he's going into cover 3 and sitting in cover 2 is just really, really nice. Fluid hips, really good balance. Really good all-around play. The only real negative with Delane is that he's got shorter arms, and that does affect him in press at times. He's not Reek Woolen in that he's a bad tackler, but he's not a great tackler. So that's the other reason.
Start saying things like that to me. Didn't he also did he run? Was it a 4.3 or a 4.28, something like that? His pro day, wasn't it?
Yeah. So there's been a load of guys like this where they've tested a certain way, and when you watch a film and it's you don't look that. So another one who isn't in my top 10, but I'll mention him quickly. I think you like him, Josh. Is Dylan Feeneman at Oregon?
Yes.
And this guy isn't in my top 10, and he ran really well and he looked incredible in the drills. The way his hips moved, it's wow, that guy looks like he moves so fluidly, so clean. And when you watch his tape at Oregon, and I don't see that. I didn't see that fluid athlete at all. He looks kind of janky. His tape at Oregon wasn't very good. He missed a lot of tackles, flies around the field, too overly aggressive, in my opinion. And I'm like, what am I missing with Dylan Feeneman? And then you watch his tape in Purdue, and that's just so much better. He is much more of a free safety than a strong safety, and Oregon kind of using the box a little bit. So I get it with him, but I'm lower on Feeneman because of his tape.
I think it's his coverage ability. So when I saw him watching the Oregon games, I did, the fact that he can command the whole of that back end, that free safety space, and he seems to get into the right positions so quickly. So you can see where the camera's sort of panning to where the ball's going on a receiver, and Thieneman can be on one side of the field, and in a split second he seems to be there because he's read where that ball's going so well and can just disrupt. That's what I really like about him, the fact that he can just be used there. I think Rob said it last week, he's an eraser on that back end. So if anything goes into his space, the chances are he's going to get a PBU. You know, I wouldn't look at him to lay the boom massively, but he will just try and stop a play. And I agree with you. The fluidity wasn't really there, but in the underwear Olympics, fluidity is there for everyone. If you've got a bit of it and you've been coached within your like an inch of your life just for that combine, then chances are you're going to look good. And he did look good. I'm biased though. I'm a Ducks fan, so.
Oh, right. That makes sense. I think if you put him in cover three and ask him to play like the Earl Thomas role, like he can do that. Not like Earl Thomas, but he can do that. It's when he comes down to a box I have a bit of concerns with. But moving on from Delane, I guess we can go to my number 9 guy, who is also a corner, and another guy who I'm definitely a lot higher on than others is Avion Terrell at Clemson. And I think this could be a guy, Josh, who could fall to us at 32 just because he has another injury, which isn't great. Avion Terrell, my kind of cornerback, like this guy, physical, twitchy, smart. Like I talk about Mansell Delane in zone coverage. Terrell, exactly the same. Like just a great understanding of routes. Looks so good at the combine. Like that guy can flip the hips. And when he breaks on the ball, man, he breaks on the ball. Like he's going to have a lot of interceptions, just like breaking down, getting to where he needs to be. Physical as a hitter, I'd like 8 forced fumbles last year, something crazy like that. Blows up blockers. Like he plays like his hair's on fire. I love Avion Terrell.
It's AJ Terrell's brother, isn't it? Little brother.
That's correct. Yes.
Yeah.
And
so he's got a decent teacher.
yeah. It's weird. He's kind of like I can't remember who said this, but it makes a lot of sense. He's kind of like the TJ Watt to JJ Watt. If JJ Watt was AJ Terrell, Avion Terrell is TJ Watt because he's a lot shorter and he's a lot more explosive, but like he wins in different ways, and he's going to be a really, really good cornerback.
I think that'll be when we get to our your plan A, B, and C. If Terrell was to fall to us, that's a conversation we need to have there. Go on, who's your number 8?
My number 8 is another Ohio State receiver. My top wide receiver in the class. I don't think it's that close either. Carnell Tate from Ohio State. Really good route runner. Incredible hands. His numbers would have been sensational if it wasn't for the next Julio Jones on the other side of the field. Like Jeremiah Smith is a very special wide receiver. But Tate's really good, very sudden. Knows how to attack defenders, like plays with great leverage. Thing with what makes JSN so special when you watch JSN, his shoulders are always square. He's always moving like the same. But Carnell Tate kind of has that where he's just got incredible balance. One thing that Carnell Tate is really good at, but I don't see spoken about a lot, is coming back to the ball. So, like, you know, if we're running a comeback route, for example, and this is something that Rashid Shaheed is very, very bad at, where, like, let's say you're running a hitch, gets 12 yards, come back, find the ball. Carnell Tate is unbelievable at that. And he'll make a lot of interceptions turn into touchdowns. Rashid Shaheed, by the way, needs to improve on that because he dropped a lot of balls that way. But that's a good signing, so we'll accept it for now.
I'd take it from sort of special teams and having that deep threat for Shaheed. The rest of it can be a work on. It's fine. I'll deal with
exactly. He's got a little bit. This is Carnell Tate. Got a little bit of like Devontae Adams to his game a little bit. Probably the better comparison would be the Eagles receiver. I'm forgetting his name. Smart Devontae Smith.
Yep.
Probably a little bit more like him, but a bit bigger. I like Carnell Tate a lot. He's my wide receiver 1 in this year's class, and a pretty underrated wide receiver class, I would say. Moving on to number 7 is my top tackle, in the draft, who is Spencer for now.
No.
Really, really good. I've seen a lot of people have him very, very high. And I mean, 7's probably higher than the consensus. But I've seen a few guys say he's like a top 3 player. And I mean, yeah, I see it. Really, really good athlete, good finisher, plays with unbelievable technique. A lot of people kind of say that he will lose because he has short arms, and I get that he does have short arms, but people compare him to Will Campbell in that same way. Man, you watch Will Campbell in the Super Bowl, he wasn't losing because he had short arms. Like, Will Campbell was losing because, go on, sorry.
I was going to say Will Campbell was losing, in my opinion, because we got in his head so quick. He was just demoralized after the first couple of rushes. It was like, oh my God.
Yeah. Well, he looked poor throughout the playoffs, didn't he? He looked terrible. And it was a plan going into the game, clearly just bull rushing. And you're looking at, well, why is that the plan? Because he's strong. He's not, this guy's a top 5 pick. And then you watch what he's doing, like totally turning his body like all the way to the outside. And basically having his chest plate wide open, just saying to me, please bull rush me, please. So Derek Hall was like, yeah, okay, I'll drive you back 5 yards, no problem.
We said it before the Super Bowl in one of our pods. I said, look, if I was sort of coaching that edge, the edge sort of team on the Seahawks, I'd just have Derek Hall with his ridiculously long arms. I'd say just straight arm him, just bull rush like Will Campbell and push him back, because he's never going to be able to get to your pads, and just demoralize him, which they did. I felt quite good. It's like, oh, the Brit knows ball. I know defensive ball.
There were so many plays where Derek Hall could have easily just long-armed him and then swum into it, cut inside into a B gap and won a sack straight away. I mean, it was just really poor. But going to Spencer for now, man, I don't see that at all. He plays with great technique. He's such a smooth mover for a guy this size. Like, when he gets into his set, he's so strong with his hands. He's going to be perfect in a wide zone. I mean, if Seattle, there's no way he's going to fall to Seattle. But if for whatever bizarre world he does, I'd draft him and put him at guard, no problem at all. And you'd have a better guard than Gray's able. Like, in my opinion, this guy is unbelievable. Really, really good player. But one thing you want to watch with for now is when he's out of his set and he's uncovered in the wide zone, he fires off the ball so fast, gets to the linebacker's outside shoulder, and just wins that seal straight away. It's incredible to watch.
Nice. You're talking my language. We're getting another guard. I think you're talking a lot of people's language, because there's one player that I'm trying desperately hard not to mention in this preseason stuff that we all know is the weaker link in that chain, even though he had some good performances. But if he fell and we could slot him in, having that young offensive line, that was just it could move. It was fantastic in the run block. I'd be all over that. Oh, you get me excited with some of these, Charlie. Come on, keep going.
Okay. Can I just say quickly about Anthony Bradford, because that's the guy you're referring to?
Yeah.
I'm very tired of being gaslit that Anthony Bradford is a really good guard. I'm sorry, no, he's not. Like, you can, Gray's able, and all these guys can say how good, Abraham Lucas, whoever it was, say how good Anthony Bradford is. And there's plays where he is very good. Yeah, sure. There's plays. But for the majority of the play, no, he's not. He's not good at all. And it's a detriment to the Seahawks. And it was for a long time last season. And that's okay. We can have that opinion. We're not wrong. We can watch it on tape. Don't try and gas at us and say, oh, we know he's a really good player. Okay, great. I'll show you 200 plays of him being beaten and playing poor assignment football. I'm sorry, Anthony Bradford.
It's not even just being beaten. It's just being completely lost on a play. Like I tried. We did a pod with Dan Vienne sort of earlier on in the season, and Dan was sort of trying to stick up for him. Obviously, he's got caliber. Was he Alabama? Wasn't he? He was brought in as like LSU. That's all. Yeah. So he's brought in as this mauler, like in the run game, but like he seems like he'll have a decent game where you don't mention his name, but then he has 4 where that's where the low light reel comes in. And you have like an interior rusher who will sort of step one way, and all of a sudden Bradford has done a complete 180 or he's blocking, Abe Lucas or Sundell. And I'm thinking, how was that possible? I think that's something that we're definitely going to be looking at this year. We've got to. And as much as the team with this brotherhood is going, no, he did really, really well. We really, really love him. I think in their heart of hearts, they'll be going, but if we can upgrade him, we're there in a heartbeat.
Yeah. If Anthony Bradford gave away a pressure and it was the last play of the game and he made another silly mistake, would they still love him? No. And right guard is one of those positions which you can hide. Like if you have 4 good linemen, which Seattle do, we have 3 good linemen at least. Sundell's good enough. Mm-hmm. You can hide it. You can win a Super Bowl that way. We just saw it. But there will be a game where there'll be a decisive play where he's going to make a mistake and we all see it coming. And, it's okay that he's not, he's not an above average player because he's not. But come on, don't try and gas us and try to tell me he's a good player because he's not. Like, come on, let's just be honest with ourselves.
I think that the pod with Dan, we were just holding on to some hope there, and I think it's just been proved this season that was misplaced.
Sample size is big enough. Yeah,
it's all on tape now.
Exactly. Caleb Downs is my 6. These top 6 are all very interchangeable. Like Caleb Downs was my 1 for a long time. All these players are just very, very good. Unbelievable safety, great IQ, really good ball skills, can play anywhere, can play corner, can play free, can play strong, reads the game so well. Again, his understanding of zone is just unbelievable. There's a play against Texas, I think it's Texas, where he's playing left-sided cornerback in a cover 2. And Texas run a dagger concept, which is, where they've got sort of the dig, a crosser, and so they both come into his zone, and he passes both off, and then makes a play into the flat within about 2 seconds. And it's like it's an underrated skill, just sitting in your zone and not getting pulled out and knowing where to be. But man, like that's a play that you don't see often. A lot of guys will go with the man and leave the flat wide open, running back in the flat. And he doesn't play cornerback; he's a safety. And to do that was just like, this guy is unbelievable. Really, really good play. Comes downhill like you've set his hair on fire. Like he's just a madman. Lays some big hits. Good tackler too. He doesn't like Dylan Feederman is sort of out of control sometimes. And Caleb Downs can be like that too, but not as often, man. He is just a joy to watch. Last year we saw
assignment discipline.
Yeah, exactly that, Josh. Last year we saw Kevin Worry. Like, how many times he just, if they'd throw a screen to his side and he just knife into a backfield and make a play for a TFL. That's Caleb Downs all over. Like, Caleb Downs, if you had like Downs and Emma Worry in the same safety room, like that's just unbelievable. The only question about Downs is, can he play man coverage? Because we didn't really see it. But I mean, what he shows on film is like, this guy can do anything.
Nice. Oh, so it's that age-old argument of, do you strengthen your deficiencies? Or if you have got a strength like we have, I thought last year the safety room was our strength. It was fantastic having that rotation. But if you can add another elite player into that rotation, or someone who is on the verge of being elite, do you do it? Do you pull the trigger on it? And I think that's going to be something for the comments for people to argue about, because we know our deficiencies, but we won a Super Bowl because, we were coached the right way. But if you have the opportunity to give someone like Mike McDonald, someone else in a rotation like that, and see what else he could do with this defense, would you?
Yeah, well, I think it was Brian Nemhauser at whichever, not the league meeting, whatever other event went by, the Combine. Mm-hmm. Was it the Combine? Brian Nemhauser asked McDonald, is there room in this defense for another kind of, a kind of joker player? By joker, I mean like a kind of
positionless
play safety. Yeah. And straight away he was like, yes. So like, you just know there's things that he can come up with a guy like a Caleb Downs. Even a linebacker like Sonny Styles, for example, we'll speak about in a minute, who can play multiple roles, can be used. Nick Mawari for a large part of the season was a linebacker.
Yeah,
like he was not a safety.
They played him in Will, didn't they? A lot.
Played him at Will, played him at Sam.
Yeah.
And if you have a guy like Sonny Styles, for example, and Caleb Downs, then you can just be so versatile in the coverages and just have offenses in a daze. Like, I have no idea. I know who the Mike is. I have no idea who Will is. I have no idea who's playing safety. And, like, good luck. You get into, like, 3rd and, like, 12 against that. Like, good luck.
God, I'd love to see it. This is why I'm excited to see what we get with the 4 picks, where we go, and it's going to have Mike McDonald's stamp all over it. And I can't wait to discuss those with you because I really want to get your take on it. Go on, keep us going through your top 10.
My number 5 is a player who I've massively come around on, and it is the quarterback, Fernando Mendoza. So I watched the Indiana-Ohio State game, the first one. I was on a cruise on my honeymoon, and I was watching it in the bar with an Indiana fan who's been through every game for 35 years. And I was speaking to him about Fernando Mendoza, and they were all just so, and this guy knew football. He was just raving about him like the best player we've ever had, best quarterback we've ever had by far. Lovely guy, a leader, someone who brought the team together. Because I was sort of thinking of Mendoza at the time like a Jared Goff, like a talented quarterback, but was never going to be like a game changer, a Joe Burrow. And I still don't think he is kind of that prospect. But I do think that he can be a really, really good franchise quarterback. And after speaking to that guy, he was saying, people say he's not an athlete. He is. He throws, and that was before that crazy play in the national championship. He throws with great touch. He does. He's got an underrated arm, which I think he does a little bit. It's not the best.
Did you see his pro day throws?
Yep.
I was watching the highlights today. I was like, oh my God. I didn't know he had that in his locker.
Yeah, and he doesn't show it on film because they run a very, RPO, over the shoulder, fade routes, kind of gimmicky offense. And that kind of held me back, thinking is this guy just another, not a Tennessee, like a Hendon Hooker, but in a gimmicky offense, it's kind of hard to get a read. But man, there's plays where Mendoza goes through his reads so well to a point where it's better than some NFL quarterbacks. Like, he goes through his reads better than Jalen Hurts, and it's not even close. Really, like, there's no reason, and this could be a clip, there's no reason why Mendoza couldn't be Tom Brady. None at all.
I'm just going to timestamp this.
You watch what Tom Brady did. Like, Tom Brady was never the best athlete, never the best arm. Didn't throw. He threw a great touch. He was never the best. There's a reason why he went in the 6th round, is what I'm saying. Mendoza is the perfect leader. Goes through his reads so well. Gets the ball where it needs to be. Reads a defense. He's not good at all, but for what you need to win, Mendoza has that. He's just the kind of player you want to bet on.
And he now gets to sit behind Kirk O'Chains, doesn't he? Kirk Cousins is signed for the Raiders. So if he gets a year or if he gets half a season sitting behind Kirk Cousins, and even in like the off season, every sort of training session, he gets to talk to someone like Kirk Cousins, who, as a pocket passer, arguably in his heyday was one of the better ones in the league. Athleticism wise, he was never one that was going to, get you 20 yards on a QB scramble, but pocket passer, if he can read, if he can go through all of his reads and he can make the right one, that is possibly one of the better people to have for Mendoza, because we know he's athletic, as we've seen, like you said, in the the national game, and then you've seen some of his pro day throws. But if you can get an experienced vet to actually coach him up as well, with Kubiak, who's going to be drawing up the plays for him, he could be on for a decent season.
It really could. You want to see Raiders have a better offensive line and better wide receivers. He's going to be heavily reliant on Ashton Genty. But you would hope that the scheme really helps the offensive line. It should do. It's more offensive line friendly. So it should put Mendoza in a good spot. And regarding Kirk Cousins, that is just the perfect guy for Mendoza to have. Kirk Cousins and Mendoza are basically the same person. Like they're both dorks. They're both like football guys. Probably don't drink alcohol, which is fine. They're just football guys. Even similar quarterbacks, similar prospects, like you say, like not the best athletes, but really good in the pocket. It's a good signing for the Raiders. Yep. Even if Kirk starts the first 8 games, let's say, like that's not going to be bad. Even if he starts the whole season, work with Patrick Mahomes, so it's not the worst way to go.
At 12 Talk, we are proud to be the UK Seahawkers official podcast. And if you want to join the UK Seahawkers, you can for as little as £12 a month for a single membership or £20 for a family of up to 4 at the same address. There's additional £5 postage for memberships outside the UK. It's easy to join. You can send your payment via PayPal to ukhawksfans12@hotmail.com using the friends and family option. You can then join us for social events, which I'll tell you about very shortly. You'll get 10% off at the Pro Shop when you're in Seattle. You could be eligible for game day field passes. There's also access to members-only competitions and the annual selection of goodies. The ones that are displayed here are what we got last year. We've got a Super Bowl winner goodies that are coming out very soon. To make life even easier, you can scan that QR code on the screen and it'll take you straight to the payment. And with that, we have got our annual meetup at the Dean's Gate in Manchester on the 9th of May this year, celebrating 10 years of the UK Seahawkers. It's £10 per person. You can pay the exact same way. Scan that QR code. There's going to be competitions. We'll have live interviews with 12 Talk, so you can get on the pod. You'll be all over our socials and you can help support the fantastic charity that the UK Seahawks support in McDonald's House. And come and join us and many happy UK Seahawkers, much like this amazing group from our Super Bowl watch party. Can't wait to see you guys there. Go Hawks.
Should we get into the top 4?
Let's do it.
So number 4, again, this guy's been my number 1 at one point, is Jeremiah Love from Notre Dame. The guy who, if he fell in the draft, and I would never have done this 2 years ago, if he fell to like 16, I would try to trade up for him because he's so good. Like, incredible athlete, 3 down back, breakaway speed, patience, gap discipline. When he sees his gap, he's going to go for it. He doesn't do a Kenneth Walker and try break everything outside and try for the home run every single play. But he has that in him because he can, hit the B gap and run through tackles and get you there. Whereas Kenneth Walker was always going to try bounce it and then try to get the edge and lose 6 yards quite a lot.
God, don't. I can feel last season's stress levels coming back, just reimagining that. Well, luckily, not our problem anymore. I say luckily, he did, the back end of the season, the playoffs and the Super Bowl, fantastic. But it's far too infuriating for me to watch week in, week out again.
Yeah, same. Good for Kenneth Walker to get that deal, man. But if Seahawks gave him $15 million a year, I'd be furious. I'd be absolutely furious. I'm totally fine with what we have right now. Hopefully they draft someone, but if they don't, I'm fine with that. Jeremiah Love, real quickly, really good route runner as well. To play against Keontae Scott, who's going to be probably second round cornerback, where Jeremiah Love is in at the slot and he runs an out route and just flat out beats Keontae Scott. Like, he's a really, really good route runner. He's a guy, like I say, if he fell in the draft, Josh, I'd trade up for him. And that's crazy because he's a running back and people would hate that. But I would do it.
We've already spent 2 second-round picks on running backs. Come on, we can't do any more. If we traded up for a first rounder, could you imagine?
Our narrative would be like, why have you let Kenneth Walker go to then trade up for a running back? And my answer would be Jeremiah Love is more than a running back and he's a lot better. That's a move. But it's not going to happen because he's probably going to go number 4 to the Titans. But it's a fun one to think about because if you put him in Seattle's backfield, they would be, they'd be very fun to watch.
Naughty. I like it.
Yeah. Last 3 guys, I'll rattle off quickly. Sonny Styles is my number 3. This guy is just an absolute unicorn of a player, like probably the best athlete we've ever seen enter the draft and be a very good player. So quick, strong, former safety, and it shows on tape. Like elite speed, elite range. One thing he doesn't do very well, which some people say he does, I don't think he does. He doesn't attack blocks very well. He sort of avoids them because he's quick and he can do that. I would like to see him stack and shed a little bit more, where you get your hands on offensive linemen, get behind and make a play rather than avoid it and maybe take a bad angle. So I'd like to see that a little bit more from him. But man, he diagnoses plays really, really well and just has the speed to get there, make plays he shouldn't because of those traits. Patient guy as well. There's a play where I can't remember who it's against, where his gap closes up, he sees the quarterback bounce outside. He just shuts it down real quickly for a tackle at the 1 yard line. It's just unbelievable. I think it's Illinois. Go check that play out. Real special player. Really good in zone coverage as well.
Where'd you see him going?
I mean, with that combine, it's hard to imagine a world he falls out of the top 10. I think his floor is Dallas at 12. But, yeah, I mean, it's anywhere in the top 10, really, outside of, I mean, maybe as high as Arizona at 3. I wouldn't take him if I was Arizona. I would take Spencer Fennell for tackle. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, anywhere inside the top 10. I mean, this guy's just unbelievable.
Well, this is going to be my next favorite game after I've done this series, where I'm just going to be going through the first round to see who needs what and who'll fit where. Because I've not done that yet. I've just concentrated solely on Seahawks, and I'm going to be looking at sort of these ones next. So Sonny Styles I'll be looking at who he fits best, and I'd quite like not to see him go to the Cardinals.
He's one of those guys where if he goes to Arizona or LA or San Fran, he's going to annoy us for a long time because he's going to make incredible. He's not Fred Warner, and neither is the other guy who I'm about to speak about, but they're not far away. Like the kind of player, the kind of ceiling they have is Fred Warner-esque. Like they're unbelievable. My number 2 guy is a guy who I'm definitely a lot higher on than other people. I was on a BBC podcast recently and said this guy was my number 2, and they said it was like a really, really hot take. I disagreed a little bit. I just think he's really good. The reason why it's seen as a hot take is because he didn't play last year. It is Jamod McCoy from Tennessee, the cornerback. And I say not played at all last season. I'm going off his tape in 2024, but that tape is just unbelievable. Like this guy is a technician. Great. We talk about hip fluidity. He's got that in abundance. Like just a really smooth mover, explosive as all hell. When he plants off his back foot and breaks on the ball, electric. There's a play against, I think it's Oklahoma. Yeah, Oklahoma, where he's in phase with Brandon Thompson, who's the fastest player in this year's class. He won a 4.26. Jamon McCoy is in phase with him the whole way. So, like, we could be talking about a cornerback who's a 4.2 guy and is a great technician and has incredible traits, man. This guy is unbelievable. You watch his performance against Alabama, against Brian Williams, just reading the guy's hips, getting to his zone, making plays all around the field. He's a fun player.
I'll be putting that on my list of players to have a look at. Thank you.
And my number 1 guy is Arvell Reese, the linebacker, not defensive end, not pass rusher, in my opinion. I think over the last few years, we've seen, Micah Parsons and Abdul Carter, who played linebacker and have played a bit of edge. So everyone kind of sees, okay, all of these players should play edge. I disagree. I think Arvell Reese is a linebacker, an off-ball linebacker. At off-ball linebacker, he has very few weaknesses, whereas defensive end, I think, has a few weaknesses. Unlike Sonny Styles, man, he stacks and sheds, so he gets his hands on linemen and he pushes them back, he drives them back, gets to the ball all the time, man. He flips his hips in coverage. He's just a really fun player to watch. Great closing speed, an incredible tackler. Like I say, very few weaknesses with Alvaro Reese. He has to go number 2 overall. If the Jets take David Bailey at 2, who's the other player that they're linked with, I mean,
made a mistake.
Yeah. So
David Bailey, would you put it past him?
So as you've just heard there, David Bailey is not in my top 10. And he's a guy who probably will go number 2. And I would like to ask the listeners of the show to this question. Would you draft Yannick Ngakoue, number 2 overall, a guy who will get you 11 sacks a year and then will be cut at the end of the season? Why is he being cut, do we ask? He can't play the run. Like, I think a lot of David Bailey is that it's actually coaching, because his technique is appalling. He doesn't know how to wrong arm. Pad level is awful in the run. Doesn't use his arms well. David Bailey at the minute is a third down. David Bailey at the minute is a better version of Darrell Taylor. If you need a pass rusher, if you need a guy to get you as 10 sacks a year and you don't care, you have good contain, great. That's great. I'm not taking that guy at 2nd overall. Like, he's going to have to show me a lot more.
Especially if you're the Jets. You need a rounded player at least.
And the Jets on the other side are Will McDonald, who is kind of that player as well. Like, a really good pass rusher, not so good against the run. To be fair, I haven't seen Will McDonald recently, but that's the kind of player he was. I wouldn't. He's a fringe first rounder in my opinion. Like, even if Seattle took him, I'd be like, okay, that's a good pass rusher. I'm excited about it, but he's going a lot earlier in my opinion.
I don't want another Darrell Taylor. Like, I can't. The amount of people. So when I was on the other pod, that were telling us, "Oh, he's going to be fantastic. Look at his college tape. He's this, he's that." And every time I watched him, I just thought he literally has one way to get by an O-lineman, which is speed and bend. Yeah. If you ask him to use any sort of ball, any sort of strength, he's screwed. It just takes it takes a tackle to have good feet and good short area quickness to stop him getting around the edge, and there's nothing to him. I think it says a lot that his highlight is that Jared Goff handoff where he thought he got the sack on him and the ball had already gone. Like that is the type of player you're going to get.
I was a play. Do you remember where we picked someone off and then he was on the sideline and ran on the field and started blocking?
Yeah.
That was an unbelievable Darrell Taylor. But Darrell Taylor, because the first season he missed with injuries, right? He was out all year. And then I remember his first game of his second season, we had a good year. He beats Braden Smith for Colts right tackle with a ghost move, and it was a really nice ghost move. And then he did that all season long, and it worked. And he got like 10 sacks. And then the third season didn't work at all. Yeah. So offensive linemen know what you're going to do. If that's your one move, if your pass rush moves are speed and ghost tech, they're like, well, okay, we can stop that. And then when you're a speed rusher, undersized, with limited moves, man, it's tough. David Bailey does have pass rush moves, but David Bailey is not Darrell Taylor. But he could be, which is worrying.
That's a no from me. It's a hard pass. Hard pass. So that was your top 10 then. Right. I'm looking forward. I'm going to listen back to this when I do the editing, and I'm going to be jotting down all these for when I actually get some time to look at some tape before the draft, and I'm really excited by it. But we're going to get to your plans A, B, and C for the Seahawks draft picks. But first, we're just going to go into this. If you want to support the 12 Talk Pod, then why not consider signing up to our Patreon? There are 3 tiers of membership you can choose from. There's our rookie tier, which is only £3 per month, which is $3.96 at today's exchange rate. And for that, you'll just be supporting the pod and helping us put out this fantastic product every single week. Or you could go for our 12-man option, which is £6 a month, $7.92. And with that, you will get general support with the pod, and you also get 1 ticket to a jersey giveaway raffle, which is at the end of the season. Or why not become an MVP, which is £12 a month, $15.83. With that, you get to support the pod. You'll get 2 jersey giveaway raffle tickets. You'll get access to exclusive MVP Fantasy League with a chance to win a prize, a trophy that will be delivered to your door, and a Discord title. And after 12 months of continual membership, you'll also get an exclusive 12 Talk t-shirt and patch. Now, we want to say a massive thank you to those that have signed up already, including Danny, Gary, John, Jonas, and Gordon. If you want to sign up, hit the link below and help support the pod. Let's turn up to 12. And we're back. So thanks to everyone for staying for that bit. If you can support the pod, really, really appreciate it. We do really, really appreciate everyone tuning in. Obviously, if you've not already, you can like, subscribe, hit the notification bell on our pod, and we can get out to more and more 12s. And you can also join our Discord, which is free. The link's down there. But now, Charlie, your plans A, B, and C. So just to preface this is going to be at each of our native picks. If you have a plan A being the player you want, plan B being if that first player isn't there, who would you consider around that region? And plan C, if everything goes belly up, what is your DEFCON 1 move? So let's start. Round 1, pick 32, plan A. Who's going to be there? Who do you think or hope will be there that we can get?
My plan A would be to trade down. Is that cheap?
Go on, tell me what would you be looking for?
Every time I do one of those PFSN mock draft simulators, and every time I don't, obviously that's just a simulator, but that might not work out on the night. But every time I don't draft down, I just come out of the draft feeling like I'm not too happy with that. Every time I do draft down to like anywhere between 40 and like late 50s, I feel a lot better with what I've come out with. And that's because I only finished my big board recently, which is going up this weekend on the Daily Mirror US. And my second round is a lot more loaded than what I thought it would be. There's just a lot of players who I like in the late second round. And if you can come away with 3 of those players, even 2, and with a good third round guy, I just feel a lot better just because the end of the first round isn't very good this year. I think the player you get this isn't a hot take, you probably heard a lot of other guys say this. The guy you get at 32 isn't going to be that different to the guy at 55. Like some people might have Caleb Banks for Florida lineman at 32, and some might have him at 60. And there's a lot of guys like that. Chris Johnson, the cornerback at San Diego, like he's a guy that could go anywhere between that range. So if you can trade down, Josh, that's always going to be my first move.
Plan A, nice. I like that. If you can't find a trade partner, because let's face it, pick 32, end of the first round, some people might just go, you know what, we'll chance it, unless there's someone that drops like a stone for no apparent reason. What would be your plan B?
I think the only reason we could trade out, and we might get a good option to, is the one player who you want to watch is Ty Simpson. Because if he drops, and the way things are sounding recently is that he won't drop, he'll go a lot earlier than what people think. Like really early. If he drops, then a team could trade up for him at 32 because you get that extra 5th year on a rookie deal
option.
So that's a player that I do think we could get a trade for at 32. But let's say he's gone. Let's say the Rams take him at 13, and we can't trade down. Avion Terrell would be the guy. If he's there, then absolutely take him because he's just, like I said earlier, really, really good cornerback. You add him with Devin Witherspoon, and you've got a really exciting cornerback room. That's the guy who would be my A+ guy to draft.
Nice. I've seen he's been mocked a lot to us as well at 32. So but losing someone like Woolen, it's again, he's one of those players like K9, had some fantastic moments, but overall just frustrating to watch. Like
Mm.
I've gone on it. I think every time you've been on, I've been on a woolen tirade. So I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna sort of put that out there because there's enough clips. People can go back and watch all those pods. But if we can get just a solid cornerback room of people that are Mike McDonald players, intelligent, smart, tough, reliable, I'd be all over that. But what if Terrell isn't there?
So let's say, all of my, let's say my top 31 players have been taken. We're at 32. We can't trade down. I think this is a little bit early for the guards. The two guards I'm thinking of are Jennings Dunker and Emmanuel Pregnon. I think it's a little bit early for those two. I've got big questions about both of those guys. Dunker, who is, just looks incredible. He looks like, if you had a piece of paper,
pure corn fed.
Yeah, if someone said to you, draw me the ideal guard, you would draw this guy. Like the mullet, like body type,
handlebar, mustache, everything. Yeah.
Big, like massive ass. Like he's a fun player to watch, right? Well, there's issues there. Pad level's too high, and it shouldn't be because he's got a good base. Beaten a lot at the Senior Bowl, drove back by guys I've never heard of. There's room to improve with Dunker. I just think it's a little bit early to take him here. Mm-hmm. And Pregnon is a guy who's been rising quite a lot. I heard Rob talk about him on his video the other day, and I get it. Like, yeah, because he's so strong and explosive. Give up one sack that I've seen all his 3 years of playing. Really good mover for his size. My issue with Pregnon in Seattle is he's not a wide zone. He could be a wide zone guy, but he's massive. Like, he could be. He's not as boneheady as Anthony Bradford.
You're about to say he could be an AB 2.0.
Yeah, he's not that. He's more controlled, but he's not the athlete for a wide zone. If, for example, Baltimore. If Baltimore get him and a Penn State kid, who I'm not going to try to pronounce his name because it's very hard. If they got both two, that's an A+ draft. They're two perfect inside zone guards. So Pregnon, I just don't think he's a good scheme fit. Like, he could be, but I have issues there. The one guy who is mocked to Seahawks quite a lot, a guy I've come around a lot on, is, and this is going to be another unpopular pick, but I think Seahawks fans are warming to it, is the running back Jadarian Price. Perfect for a wide zone. He's got a nasty jump cut. Like, woof. His jump cuts are extremely sexy. Seems like a Seahawks kind of guy. He's like built like Chris Carson, but he's got the cuts of Rashad Penny. Like, really, really good vision. Sets up his blocks really well. You know that play Kenneth Walker had against in Super Bowl, really did it quite a few times, where he's just waiting, and then he's just
the Le'Veon Bell type plays. So
Le'Veon Bell.
Honestly, it was. I said this like midway through the season. I said, if he could just watch some Le'Veon Bell tape and realize what patience is behind his O-line, he'd go far. And then in the postseason, he finally figured out, oh, maybe I can hang on for a second and a half, let something let a gap just be generated and go, and he did. If Price does that, I'm all over that, to be honest.
You know what's crazy about Kenneth Walker? Where was that for 4 seasons?
Oh,
why did you start doing that right at the end? I mean, thank you, won the Super Bowl. Thank you very much. I'm not complaining, but like, why did it take you 4 years to actually? I can be patient instead of bouncing everything outside and trying to score a touchdown every single play. Like, listen, mate, 4 yards is fine. We'll take 4 yards. Like, even on those like really patient plays when he was getting 9 or 10 yards, like, even do that for 4 yards. That's great for me. Like, because he has the, he's a profile player that can do that. And as his Price, man, he's got a good low center of gravity, makes defenders miss. I don't love his ball security at times. That worries me. The thing with Price is, like Kane, he's not the best receiver, But man, I don't care. Like this guy's a good running back. I'll take him at 32.
Right, receiving running backs. I mean, you've got George Halani, who was used pretty much exclusively in that role. I mean, when he comes back as well, you've got Kenny McIntosh, who is a fantastic receiving threat there as well. Charbonnet, you watch some of his UCLA tape. There was so much receiving from his part from the backfield, and he excels at it. So I'd take a running back that doesn't need to do it, to be honest. So you go. That's your A, B, and C for 32. Let's move into round 2, where you say you've got a lot of people that you really like for this round. Pick 64. Give me a plan A, sir.
Pick 64. I mean, if the option is there to get one of the guys we mentioned earlier, like a Pregnon or a Dunker, then yeah, I'd absolutely pounce there. I think that's the range where if you can get them, I would be very much inclined to take a guard there. Like I know earlier I mentioned I was quite harsh on Anthony Bradford, but I will admit it's not the biggest need, right? We've just won a Super Bowl with the guy. We don't absolutely have to get a guard, but it would help. It would make our run game a lot better. I think people forget our run game was non-existent for 12 weeks last season. Rashid Shaheed massively helped that. Teams had to play cover 2 against us because Shaheed can just take the top off the defense. So he really helped in that aspect. But yeah, I mean, if you can get an upgrade on Bradford, I would do it. And those 2 guys in particular, I really, really like. There's not many other guards or interior players that I like, really. I like Connor Lew, who's a center from Auburn, but we don't need it. I'm fine with Jalen Sundell, Josh. I don't know how you feel about that.
I feel the same. I think the continuity of having Sundell next to Zabel is fantastic. I think Sundell, as much as he's light for a center, that's my only sort of it's the only reservation I've got about him, that if he comes up against a big nose tackle, he could get driven back into into the lap of the quarterback. But I thought he played well, considering he played all across that O line, and then they put him in at center and went, this is the guy. He beat out Olu, who, remember, was an award winner in college. He was drafted to be that center for us, and the fact that Sundell's come in and he's just taken the bull by the horns there, is a Super Bowl winning center, I'd stick with him. I think for continuity's sake, I just work with him. Coaching is a big thing with this young group as well. And the more you coach him, the better he's going to get. So I'll be all over that.
One idea I've really warmed to recently as well is drafting one of the top 2 nose tackles. So let's say, those 2 nose tackles are Caleb Banks and Caden McDonald. I would lean more towards Caden McDonald because he's played. Caleb Banks played in 2 games last year and has had some injury issues. I think if we're able to get, because Caleb McDonald is a pure nose tackle. He's just going to sit in that A gap and just take
up space. Yeah,
take up space. And Byron Murphy does that really well. I really, really want to see Byron Murphy play free tech. I want to see him in 1v1 situations, rushing the passer, because he can do it. He is more than just a run stuffer. And it's great having Leonard Williams and Jaron Reed. These unbelievable players, and Leonard Williams has to play. But would I like to see Byron Murphy get Jaron Reed's free tech snaps? Yes, I would. If Jaron Reed can play a bit of nose, which I would like to see him play a bit more nose, and Byron Murphy ever free, that just excites me. And the idea of moving forward, having Byron Murphy, Leonard Williams, and potentially Caden McDonald, that's just the best interior in the league, and it's not close. Like, you have 3 guys who can move around all 3 positions and just good luck running the football. That's all I'll say.
I'd say there was me not even looking at interior defensive linemen. And now after this pod, I'm going to have to look for more. Cheers, mate. This is the reason why I bring you on.
You just type in a picture, those who are listening, type in Caden McDonald and just look at the guy. Like, he's the kind of player you want on your team. Just a big, nasty MFer. Like, fun player. Like, first off a bus guy. Seems like a cool dude as well. I'm all in on Caden McDonald. And I
Sweet Jesus.
First round. You just looked?
It's a big old unit, isn't he?
Yeah. Big.
He's the type of player I like to call a demoralizer.
Yeah.
Like I was like, you've probably had it coaching football, whereas I've had it sort of like coaching and playing rugby, where you see one guy get off the bus first, and the whole opposition goes, Jesus. Yeah.
We had this kid. Well, this kid, I say he was like 35 years old. We had this guy a few years ago, played for our team. He came from Louisiana, and he was 410 pounds. Yeah. He was so big that he couldn't get in his stance. So he would just like sit in the A gap, and teams didn't even try run inside zone. We're like, well, yeah, we can't break under this guy. And that's basically Caden McDonald. Like, he's a much better version of my friend Will. Shout out William Walker.
There you go. Shout out Will. Go on, that's so your plan A. What plan B?
Yes, I mean the plan B would basically just like see how the board falls and then take what you haven't got. So like if you've drafted a guard, cornerback is one to target. Here's my answer. I've kind of danced around what I'll do. Here's the guy that we're drafting, Josh, and this is a guy who I guarantee fan favorite straight away. Like, he might even take Devin Weatherspoon's shine as like fun cornerback on the team, and it's D'Angelo Pons from Indiana.
Oh yeah, I've seen a lot of stuff about him. Since doing these, I've actually watched some tape, and I've watched a lot and sort of listened to a lot of pods about him. And there's a lot of people that are quite high, physical, spacey in corner, who just loves to get in amongst it.
Mate, he loves it. He's 5'8", maybe. Yeah. He might be 5'7". He's like, I don't know, 170 pounds soaking wet. Dude is tiny, but don't play like it. He plays like Devin Weatherspoon. He will run through offensive linemen. He'll destroy wide receivers. He's as physical as all hell, man. Fights through contact. Indiana last year, it was a big part why they won the championship. They just put Pons on one side of the field and said, "You handle that, mate." He's like, "Yeah, all right. I'll just, they'll be 3-by-1, and they'll stick with this one guy, and they'll shut down the whole side of the field, and they'll do it really well because he is sticky in coverage, like flies around the field, unbelievable instincts, fires the whole team up. He'd be such a fun Seahawk, man. That is the guy. If he's a 64, and they don't draft him, I'm going to be furious.
I've said this for the last few seasons now, especially with Mike McDonald. I think he sees his DBs the same way. I want it to be a no-fly zone, not in like the don't throw it up over there because it's like Revis Island, or you've got the Sherman who'll get an INT. I want it to be a no-fly zone by the fact that a wide receiver will receive the ball, but will be constantly looking over their shoulder, going, "Oh my God, are they here? Oh my God, are they over there? Which angle are they coming from? Am I going to get absolutely smashed?" That's all I want. I want the fear of God put into wide receivers running near our cornerbacks. And if you've got Spoon and Pons there, I have a feeling that would be sort of the tandem to do it.
Back in like 2015, 2014, LOB era, you'd see tight ends like run a mesh route, or run a sort of like shallow crosser, and when they catch the ball, their head would be on a swivel instantly, and they would sometimes drop the ball because they knew Cam Chancellor is coming. Like, it was so funny. Like every time, like there'd be times in a game where a quarterback would throw in the middle of the field, receiver would catch the ball, and I'm excited as a Seahawks fan, so I know Cam Chancellor is going to level someone.
Yeah.
And if he's not, little old Thomas is going to fly in and level him as well. Oh my!
I think we've just to deviate quickly. I think we've kind of got that safety room there now. I mean, you've got Julian Love, in my opinion, isn't a hitter. He's a fantastic, field general in there. He's got great instincts. We'll get to the ball. We'll shut stuff down. Yeah. But then you've got Nicky Manwari, who is quite happy laying the wood on someone. And then, as we saw last year, Ty Okada is not afraid to hit someone. He will level someone if needs be. And that's what gets me pumped watching like defensive football like that. And if we can add a DB to do the same thing, I could just imagine Mike McDonald salivating if someone like Pons is there at 64.
Every time that Pond makes a play, it's going to fire the whole team up. Because, like I said, he's the biggest out. He's 5'8". He might be 5'7". He's tiny. Like, but listen, if you put him in 1v1 against Mike Evans, he's probably going to lose. But okay, so's Josh Jobe. Like, so's Reek Woolen. Like, yeah, there'll be plays where he will lose sometimes. That's every cornerback ever. Like, we have to accept that he will lose at times because of his height. Like I say, Devin Witherspoon lost a lot last year because of his height. Go watch the Rams game. They picked on him. Like, it's going to happen. But, man, he's going to make plays. I promise you, he will make plays. And like I said, Energizer Bunny, fun player. And that's what, I want fun players. Is it okay to have fun players and have a team who wants to be fun? So
it's nice that we're actually at that point where we're not just going, right, we need to cover up all our deficiencies and hope to God that we can make it into the postseason. The fact that we've got a team now that's just won the NFL, like Super Bowl champions, and now we're going, let's just add some fun. Let's add some hard hitting, like fire stokers, people that just want to get the team and the fans off their seats. What a luxury. This is so nice for a podcast like this.
and I think that's why we're okay with drafting a running back at 32, because it's a culture setter. Like, our team are gonna love when Jadarian Price gets the ball and he scores a touchdown. Like, it's gonna build up the whole team. Guys will love having him. We're in a luxury position in a place where we can take a risk, we can take a swing, or we can, in any of a draft, drafting Jadarian Price at 32 is going to be like, ugh. But we have to remember, it's not a good draft. It's not. There's not a lot of great talents. Take swings, like, get players who you think can enhance your team. And in my opinion, if you get Price at 32 and Pons at 64, A+ for me, mate. A+.
Love him. Okay. Well, Pons is your plan B. What would your plan C be?
I guess, we've not spoken about pass rushers yet. And I kind of think we need one, especially if Marcus Lawrence doesn't come back, which, at this point, he really wants to, or he's kind of done us dirty a little bit. So you'd hope he's coming back?
I think he's coming back. I think he's had that taste of victory. He's had the taste of success after spending his whole season in Dallas and getting nowhere. He's come here for one season, won a Super Bowl. Why would you not come back for one more and go, can we run it back?
Yeah. You'd have thought so. Getting good money next year as well. Like, seemed to really enjoy himself. Like, had a great year. Even if he does come back, we still need another edge. I was quite surprised they kept Uchenna Nwosu, but I'm not mad at it. Like, they seem to love him. I have big concerns about his, not just injuries, but he struggled at times towards the end of last season. So I worry about his productivity this year. And having that in mind, I wouldn't mind him drafting a edge at 64. And the guy I think most likely hood here is Cassius Howell. Really, really fun player. Good speed, good bend. We spoke about Darrell Taylor earlier. Had a nasty ghost move. Howell's got a really, really nice ghost move, but he has other moves to go to. There's a free series play against it might have been Utah State. I can't remember who it was. Where he had 3 sacks in 3 straight plays, and all 3 were different pass rush moves. Like, first play, he hit a ghost rush, then he hit like a dip and rip, and then he just beat someone with a bull rush. It was unbelievable. Like, talented player. The issue I have with him is he has short arms, and that shows up in the running game massively. He's not Darrell Taylor in that aspect, but he's not too far off. And then when he played against better tackles, struggled. Like, Texas's left tackle just beat him all game long. And so, like, will that translate to the NFL? He might struggle as a pass rusher. And if he does, then you've kind of got a nothing burger with him. But the skills are there. He has exciting traits. And we have a defense where you could ask him just to be a pass rusher and he might be really good. So I would take a chance with Cassius Howell here. But I'm a lot lower on him than other people.
I think we also need to remember as well, like, just because someone's drafted doesn't mean they need to be effective in the first year. Obviously, if you're going to be the top 10 pick, you're anticipated, or first round pick, but in my opinion, everyone is there for development. You're a rookie
Yeah,
coming into the league. So if you've got someone that you bring in because you see a lot of the intangibles go, his arms are a bit short, then that gives you at least a year to work on, nullifying that inadequacy
yeah.
and seeing what he can do. And if you add him in the rotation purely to rush, fine. Give Chenna a bit of a bit of downtime. Perfect.
I think as Seahawks fan, I think I'm talking to myself here. Actually, we need to remember that it does take rookies some time. I remember you and Mitch. Actually, you loved Derek Hall, and I didn't like. And I was angry at that pick. And after the first year, after the first year, I was angry. And
Yeah.
you two were like, no, he's gonna have a big year. And I was like, okay. And then fair enough. Like he's come around and he was really good in his second year. And his third year, he had some low moments, but man, was he good in that Super Bowl. Like Derek Hall is now a player who I feel really good about as a starter. And that could be Cassius Howell on the other end because he needs to develop as a player in the run. Like, yeah, he could develop into a really, really good player. If he doesn't by year one, like with Derek Hall, that's absolutely fine.
Mm-hmm.
Quickly with Cassius Howell, there's what Jack Brenthal, who was from the touchdown, mentioned this, and it's really funny. He has the most annoying 2-point stance you'll ever see, where he's basically his back is towards the sideline. So when he's getting off to rush a passer, he has to take a step back towards where he's going. So he could be really fast, but we don't know because he.
So instead of being square, he's at sort of 90 degrees to cut back in on himself to lose a yard of. See, again, that's a coaching point, though. That's when you get to the pros, they'll go, "We've coached you because, well, we've got you because we know of all this stuff, but this need to change."
Like, Josh, I'm an amateur coach in bloody Wakefield, England. I can tell him that. Like, can college coaches not go, hang on, Cassius, what are you doing here, mate? Like, you're losing about a second of speed here.
Yeah, but then they probably go, but you're still really effective in this scheme. So,
it's
what,
really you
watch pros can do that.
Yeah, if Seahawks do that, and let's say that get him in a 3-point stance and he can sort of fire off the ball and contain, then really, really exciting player.
Excellent. Right, we're down to the last 2 picks. Round 3, pick 96. What have you got? Plan A.
Again, it is kind of like cleaning up what you haven't drafted. So I guess I'll go back to positions. My 3 positions I would like to see attacked are cornerback, running back, and then either guard or edge rusher, really. No tackle if one of those 2 is available, but those are the 3 sort of positions.
Yeah.
So if they haven't drafted a guard or a corner, I'd attack those 2. I'll speak about the fun one because it's the one who Seahawks fans speak about quite a lot, and his name has grown a lot since the combine. And it's a running back, Mike Washington Jr. Arkansas, yes.
Yeah.
My colleague Andrew interviewed him the other day. Was at the combine. Like I say, really, really good combine. Seemed like a really cool kid as well. Amazing speed, very strong. So the numbers say, and so his biceps say. But then you watch the tape, and I don't know, doesn't translate. His speed doesn't translate to me.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't run through tackles as I would like him to. He runs very, very high. And that means he gets tackled a lot easier than what he should be. Bad low center of gravity. Not a good receiver. In a bad in pass pro, which you think he should be because he's a big, strong guy. The other issue with...
Oh, you're selling him to me here, mate.
The other issue with him is he's a fumbler, and he's a fumbler because his ball security is terrible. And that's just annoying because at that level, you need 11 fumbles in like 2 years. That's just shockingly
that's
bad.
Not it.
If I had a comfort, like a lot of there was a lot of like Devon A-Chain comes to him. He ran really fast. I don't see that at all. I think Raheem Mostert, let's say, is probably a good comp for him, where he's a good change of pace back, but I don't think he's running back one. I would be really surprised. He'd have to change a lot from what he showed on tape to be the player who some Seahawks fans want him to be.
I watched some tape of his, and the note I made, hang on, I've got my note, melts in contact was the big thing for me. Like you said, and anyone who's played a contact sport knows if you run up high, you are giving a defender a lot of real estate to hit you. And that, like I said, that's where the fumbles come from as well, because you're not tucking the ball. But it was when he did run into contact, there wasn't any impetus for leg drive to try and break through contact. It was just sort of, oh, I've been hit. Oh, I'll go down. And because like you, Seahawks circles, I just heard so many people talk about him.
Yeah.
And I thought, I've got to watch at least some tape. And I probably got through about 15 minutes. And that was my big note, melts in contact. And I thought, can't really be an NFL running back with that. So go on, that's your fun one. Your A, B, and C here can be interchangeable when it comes to round 3 and 6, I think. But go on.
I mean, yeah, cornerback, there's a few guys who I like Keith Abney quite a lot. I quite like Keontae Scott, but Keontae Scott is a nickel, and we don't need a nickel because we have Devon Witherspoon and we have Nick Emmanwori. Safety would be fun. AJ Halsey is a really good kind of Kobe Bryant kind of replacement who I'd quite like to see. Looking at my big board here, who else would be a fun player for the Seahawks? Let's go with It's kind of one of them, Josh, where it's like, see who falls here. Because, like, for example, I have Malachi Lawrence as a high second rounder who's an edge rusher from UCF. And he could fall into a third round. He could go first round, he could go third round. So if he fell, I guess.
All right.
Yeah, exactly one of them. Chandler Rivers, who's a smaller cornerback, who's sort of like similar to D'Angelo Pons, but not as crazy. People like, there's a lot of players who like in that kind of range who could go second round, but could fall to the third, who I'd be all over. I don't think we need a wide receiver. I wouldn't touch that at all.
No.
And there's a lot of wide receivers who I like. Like, I love Ted Hurst. He's a really fun player. Trey Lance's brother, Bryce Lance, is a really fun receiver. Yeah, I'm in the third round for me, Josh. And you know what? What I would even do is, if you can move up to get a better, and if a really good player falls, I would move up from 64 and 96, is it? And get a better player in the second round. I'd happily do that. It's one of those where at 96, there's no player who is screaming out to me. I guess if you haven't drafted a running back, the one rather than Mike Washington I would go for is Emmett Johnson. He's more of a Seahawksy kind of back to me than Matt Washington Jr.
Nice. So I'm going to put this in my head in order. I think you're A, and this is the general consensus I get with this. Beyond rounds 1 and 2, your kind of BPA is a meh. Could get someone who could be all right, but the general consensus is they're going to be like one contract done type people, practice squad. So I'd say probably, what would you say your A if we hadn't drafted? Or A would be maybe use 64 and 96 to move up to get a better player in the second, then bin off the third.
Yeah, I'd probably do that. Yeah.
Makes sense. And then B, C would be one of those other BPAs, which make round 6. Obviously, we got from Cleveland. I've played with this a lot in the mock drafts, and all I think is, like, unless you need depth desperately somewhere, and you need someone who can be like the grand pad carrier, do you just try and get rid of it to a team who's needy for a roster and just say, look, give us a pick next year. We'll take a 6th round next year.
Yeah, after like, there's been so many guys who I've watched, and I'm like, this guy is just, meh. Like, I would if I draft him in the 6th round, it's like okay, like probably never ever going to see him on the field.
Yeah.
I think that I think you will this year. You'll see a lot of guys who drafted in the 5th round who will get cut because it's just there's so many guys who are just meh, like just don't stand out at all in any way really. So yeah, with the 6th round, draft a quarterback for all I care, like throw a dart, like.
There's no guess, ABC. There's just
there really isn't. Yeah, I mean, I guess linebacker because you want a special teams guy. And that's probably the best. Or even try to get a return guy, I guess. Yeah, I mean, it's really not a deep draft. And I always get asked for like a sleeper, like who my sleeper. It's hard to say because there's no. All the sleepers are probably in round 3 in this draft. Like, when like a lot of people recently, as when you watch Oregon's film, and you watch Feeneman, Jaden Kennedy just sticks out straight away. Like he really is Kobe Bryant 2.0. Yeah. Like not the quickest, like stiff hips, but like he can play. Like, and if you put him in the Kobe Bryant role, I'd be cool with that. There's guys like Derek Moore from Michigan, edge who might go in the 4th round. Like, yeah, it'd be fun. Like a good project player. Well, there's not many players who I'd be like, oh, this is a sleeper one to watch out for. I can't find many of those at all this year.
So am I not going to get my random DMs going? Keep an eye out for this player come draft day.
Okay,
Charlie,
I'll give you one. I'll give you one. Let's have a look at my board. Okay, so I don't know what school he's from, but he's been linked to the Seahawks recently, and I watched his tape, and it's very good. Chip Trayanum, running back. I think he had a 30.
Did he come in for a visit?
Yes, I think that's him. He is a very explosive, fun running back. I only watched a little bit of his tape, but it looks like he's playing against future UPS drivers, but he looked a fun player. So let's go for
the Toledo Rockets.
Toledo, was it Toledo? That's not a tiny school, to be fair. But yeah, impressive running back. He could be one in the 6th round. The Seahawks haven't drafted a running back who would probably pick up.
Nice. Well, mate, do you know what? That has been as insightful as I'd hoped it would be. I'd listen back to all these, obviously, when I do the editing, and if I'm in my car for work, I always listen back because I always like to take notes as well. But I just want to say thanks, mate. I'd love having you on this pod. It's a pity Mitch isn't here as well to bounce these things off, but he sort of said the same as you. He's the absolute dude, and I'm just wishing him and his partner the best when it comes to the baby being born, and they're full speed ahead now. It's not long.
Awesome.
So, before we go, do you want to tell people what you've got coming up? Because do I remember rightly? You're going to be out of this country for the draft, aren't you? You're going to be.
Hopefully, I'm going to the draft. I still haven't had the green light yet from the powers that be at the Mirror. It's still kind of, oh yeah, we'll give you an answer soon. But I mean, it's like 3 weeks away, so I need to book my hotel.
It's getting close.
Yeah. Usually, I mean, hopefully they won't watch this podcast, so I'll give you an insight. Usually, they just like tell me 2 weeks before. I'm like, oh yeah, you're going now. Like, oh yeah, cheers for the notice.
Cancel all plans.
Yeah, cancel all plans I've got. Exactly. Yeah, pay like 5 times the price for a Motel 6 or whatever they are.
Oh mate, it's expensed. It's fine.
Yeah, exactly. It's not my money. Hopefully, I will be in Pittsburgh. Yeah, got a few things lined up for when I'm out there. A few live shows, a few interviews with a few pretty big name players. I can't reveal just yet, but there's 3 or 4 who I should get in the top 10 for a few exclusives with. So that's always fun.
Oh well, if you do get those, where can people find them?
They can find me on X at Charlie Reach PLC.
Perfect.
And Daily Mirror U.S. Mirror.com.
Love it, mate. Honestly, it's great having you on, and we're definitely going to get you on during the season this season because we didn't get a chance last season, and I think Mitch is going to be gutted that he missed this because I know honestly, I know he loves having a chat with you about it because I can just sit here, be the silent party, and let you two draft nerd about things. Whereas now I just get to ask questions on these. But yeah, I just want to say a massive thank you to you as always. Everyone, go and check Charlie out on X. He's fantastic. He pops into our Discord every now and again, and we always have a really good chat about stuff. He usually pops into Vent.
And I too. And I didn't tweet out at the time, but you can back me up, Josh. I told you Michael Penix was going to the Falcons before any of the big reporters.
I didn't want to say that you were giving us like insider information, but you did say watch Penix for the Falcons.
And you and Mitch were like, "There's no way." I was like, "What?"
And lo and behold, it happened. So there you go. If you want insight like that, you can join our Discord. Like I said, the link's down there as well. Charlie might nip in, although if he's out the draft, he might be a bit busy. But still,
I'll still nip in.
My guy. But for anyone else that's watched this, thank you so much. Don't forget, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. If you can and you want to support the pod, hook up with our Patreon. At some point, you'll probably not be getting ads on these, but they won't get them on Patreon. So there you go. And it all helps keep the lights on. So I just want to say a huge thank you from 12 Talk to everyone in our Discord, to everyone who likes and subscribes. This has been brilliant, Charlie. We're definitely getting you back on. And I'm going to end it with, do you want to try and do a Go Hawks at the same time as me?
Hell yeah, let's do it.
Oh, mate. All right. We'll count down from 3. So from me, Josh at 12 Talk, from Charlie at Charlie Reach PLC on X, I want to finish this with on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Go Hawks.
Go Hawks. 12 Talk are proud supporters of the Robin Cancer Trust. The RCT is the UK's only testicular and ovarian cancer charity and has helped educate and save thousands of young people in spotting the signs through their amazing campaigns like Not Overreacting and Talking Bollocks, education talks, schools, universities, workplace, and various other events throughout the UK. Even the chairman, Toby, is in on it. He can be seen frequently running marathons dressed as a giant ball bag, all to raise awareness. We'd like to say a massive thank you to everyone who participated in our prize raffle at the Super Bowl party. You helped raise £768.50, and with your generosity, all of that is going to the RCT to help them continue to talk bollocks and educate men and women everywhere. If you're anyone you know has been affected by testicular and ovarian cancer, you can visit the RCT. Hit the link in the description below, and please, please, please go and seek help if you need it.